the audio race.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start jumping. He's not on second and
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. It's always a good night for sim racing. Good evening, everyone, here on the JP Broadcasting Network. My name is Brad Dalton, and I am going to be bringing you along here with my wonderful friend making his, well, I can't call it his JP Broadcasting debut because he's been on the channel, but he's never been behind the mic. So we decided to bring him in the booth, bring something different. I've got Jim Cunningham here with me tonight. We'll bring Jim in here in just a moment, but we're going to be looking at the Driver Appreciation 75 here for the NicholsOilPros.com series here with Triple Bypass. You know Triple Bypass if you know JP Broadcasting. You know we love them here, so we've got to show them some fun here. They're at Talladega. I don't think Talladega needs introduction if you're a NASCAR fan, but if for some reason you don't know Talladega, it's a 2.65 mile super speedway with some real heavy banking, some really fast straightaways, lots of pack racing, and we're going to be looking for the big one tonight. All right, so, and that's some foreshadowing going through. I've got everybody in the YouTube chat talking about how many cautions they expect. We'll see what happens from there. Of course, this is the Nichols Oil Pro series here with Mr. Tex Nichols on your screen, but tonight is also sponsored by this wonderful driver right here, Mr. Matt Harmon. And while Matt Harmon's going around, let's go ahead and let's look at the scores on the doors as they stand. Ben Harkham at 171 points here in this Xfinity Series with Mr. JC John Campbell in second place, 168. Aston Rice at 158. Matt Harmon is at 158 as well. William Emmert at 148. Mark Herzog at 142. Mike Weeda, Chad Bear, Elton Wu, and Mr. Jason Benson. That is your top 10 in the points standings as it stands. And of course, remember, Triple Bypass runs 5 nights of racing every week. Sunday, they're on the next gens. Tuesday nights, they're on the late models. Wednesdays is Draft Queens. Thursday night is Xfinity. And of course, Friday, they run the doubleheader road racing and street stock. So it's 5 nights of racing, but 6 races, 14 race seasons. And of course, everything starts off at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Check out triplebypassracing.com if you want to get involved. But qualifying is well and deep underway, and as we run through, let's bring in Jim and get a little bit of an introduction from Jim, making his debut here with, well, again, not his debut with JP Broadcasting, but his debut here in the commentator booth. Jim, good evening, sir. How are you?
Great, man. It's good to be here with you, Brad. And it's good to be at Talladega. It's a great track for me to make my debut at. It's actually the track that I saw my first NASCAR race at. So got a lot of good memories here, and yeah, I'm excited. The Triple Bypass guys, I've watched some of their racing in the past, and they do a great job. So this is going to be fun.
These are all drivers, and one of the things I always say about Triple Bypass, when someone asks me about this league, about this series, and they say, well, what do I need to know about Triple Bypass? I always tell you it is clean racing, it is competitive racing. And that is always what I kind of stick with when I'm looking at them. These guys really know how to put down a hard race. I've seen them run, 120 laps at Daytona and not have a caution. I've seen them run caution-free races. I've seen them run hard racing, and it's always fun to watch. So you've picked a good one to make your debut on here. I think you're going to enjoy what you find here tonight. But let's run down the grid really quick while we get ready here. Qualifying is over. We didn't show a lot of qualifying there. I apologize, but we'll go ahead and make sure we show you all these laps. No cautions here. No commercial breaks here on the JP Broadcasting Network. It's going to be Aston Rice in first place at a 54.152 with Kevin Cohen in second place. They're just 0.04 of a second behind by just 1 millisecond is Mr. JC John Campbell. From there, it is going to be Matt Harmon and Brad Kress rounding out from Chad Baer there in 6th place. Ricky Barbary going to be in 7th. 8th place will be Mike Whedon. 9th place, Jason Benson. 10th place, Alex Goff. 11th, Jeff Slaughter. And 12th, Bill Petroff. From there, we're looking at Dustin Barton and Howie Burrows up in 14th place there with the Aon Esports driver. James Durr in P15. The Naj Crutchley there in the number 48 and 16th. Ben Harcum in 17th. Tex Nichols, our series sponsor there in 18th. Will Emmert in 19th. Ward Fisher in 20th. Tyler Ruyelis in 21st. Elton Wu in 22nd. Jared Jackson in 23rd. Mark Herzog in 24th. And we need to finish this one off with Cameron Kane and Michael Seymour. We got 26 cars to tackle this driver appreciation 75 laps here of Talladega. Jim, I gotta ask, what is your experience with Talladega, and other than just being at the track, your iRacing experience? How much time have you put down on Talladega? And it's okay if you haven't put a lot. I won't judge.
No, I've done some racing at Talladega. In fact, I'm about to start an Xfinity. I'm joining an Xfinity series that's about to kick off, and I actually took the car out today and ran about 50 laps by myself, and then I put some AI on and ran about 50 laps with AI. And it was interesting to me. You get back in the pack, man, and these cars move around. It's not as easy as people think it is, that it's just gonna, driving down the straight and turn left. It's these cars move back. When you get some air moving over them, they wiggle around back there. They're a handful. It's a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. I agree with that. Talladega is one of those tracks that, if you're looking for not the public lobby run and you want just some good hard AI racing, Talladega is a good way to run it. But Jim, I'm going to ask you, what is going to be the key for success here at Talladega today for whoever manages to win this race?
Well, obviously, first off, you've got to avoid the big one. That goes without saying. But I think early on, you just keep your nose clean, try to stay out of trouble, and and just set yourself up to make a good run late in the race. Last 10 or 15 laps is what it's all about.
Going to be interesting to see how everyone survives through. Again, no sort of stage breaks here. They do have the stage breaks on Sunday nights. No stage breaks here in our racing tonight. Nothing, big crazy. We could see 75 green flag laps, but based on what I saw in practice, I'll tell you, that is not guaranteed. And most of the drivers have been saying about 1 or 2. I've seen a couple of people saying 4 or 5. I'm expecting at least 1 caution for cause here through the night. We'll see how things go, but 75 laps should be plenty of action. They're rounding out turn 4 now here, and this is going to be where I think things buckle in. And Jim, one thing we didn't touch on is just how the start-finish line is offset. You see the pace car pull over, and now the drivers are going to get going. So we're going to be waiting here with Barney with the green flag out for a hot minute here, because the restart zone there, that Geico zone, is where you would think the start-finish line is. So we sit here and we wait, and we wait, and we wait a little bit more, but it's time for 75 laps around Talladega. Green, 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 and here we go. We're going to be underway with Aston Rice leading off the field. JC John Campbell there in second. The field all gets away here early, nice and clean, and let's get this race underway real quick with Kevin Cohen and Brad Kress already starting things out side by side.
Yeah, here we go. Just starting off nice. Everybody's staying calm early. Nobody's jumping out 3 wide early.
How long do you think it'll take for them to get 3 wide, though? That's the thing I kind of wonder about, because of course we're just expecting some big pack draft racing. When will someone take it 3 wide?
It depends. I don't know all of these drivers. I would think the guys that are newer to the series and to the league, they're going to get racy earlier than the old veterans. You know, the veterans are going to lay back there in their spot and just, put down some laps for now. But if there's some less experienced drivers in the field, they're going to jump out there like right there.
That is Howie Burrows, who's decided to cut things down the middle there with the 160 up in front of him there of Rui Ellis, just a little bit ahead. Howie Burrows there thinking about taking things 3 wide. You got Naj back in the background, and Naj said he was guaranteed to win this race earlier. I jumped down and I was talking to the drivers. They all hang out in one big chat together. That's the fun of the internet. And we were all talking, and Naj said, yeah, you'll talk to me at the end of the night because I'm going to win this thing. And right now, we're only 1 lap in, but Naj is sitting well back in the background. P16, not in a bad spot, and I was wondering when 3 wide was going to happen, and here we go. 3 wide already.
Apparently the answer was lap 2. They didn't wait very long. In fact, they're just about going 4 wide there.
And honestly, Talladega is a track where you can get away with 4 wide. So it's...
You can, yeah.
It's scary. We'll put it like that. It's scary. I don't know if you've done 4 wide at Talladega. I have, and I don't enjoy it. I'll leave it at that.
I was involved in 4 wide for a finish, and it didn't end well.
Yeah, don't recommend it at all. Going down the backstretch here, they go 3 by 3. Go ahead.
You can comfortably run 3 wide here though, until the cars start getting squirrely like that. But you can do a couple of laps 3 wide around here.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how long the drivers keep the handling under them. If you are new to the Triple Bypass series here, they run in. They do have a couple sets of tires in the pits, 3 tires to be exact. 3 tire changes, not just 3 tires. There's 4 tires on a car. That math wouldn't make sense, but they've got 3 sets of tires. They do have 1 fast repair. And one other big note I like to point out, these are fixed setups. You don't get to build your own setup here in Triple Bypass. You run what you got, which I like that personally.
Yeah, and it keeps the less experienced guys in there close, and it's iRacing has some good setups. I mean, they're not that far off.
Yeah, they do really well at getting them built. That is the one thing I do appreciate, is that even iRacing fixed setups, you can make work regardless of your car preference. Sometimes you do have to change your driving style a little bit, I find. Maybe that's just a me issue, but yeah, I tend to like the fixed setups. Maybe that's just me.
No, I agree. I mean, they're fine, and the super fast guys, it's probably a little too safe for them, but for the most part, they're good setups, and obviously it provides closer racing, which is important, because you got guys out there that don't know how to set up a car, like myself. I mean, I know a little. Oh, here's a nice view.
Yeah, this is going to be riding on board with Naj Crutchley. One of the things that we haven't touched on is the banking on this track, but Naj is right here in the back of our top 10, top 11. He's technically P11 here, riding in on that high line. You can see he's peeking a little bit here, trying to get some air in the car. The cars can overheat if you're not careful, and that can cause a whole slew of problems.
Yeah, and here we are on the 33-degree banking at Talladega. It's quite an experience if you've ever been there in person and got to walk on the banking. It's pretty steep. It's hard to get up there.
I haven't been to Talladega. I have been to Daytona though, and I got to walk the trial of Daytona, and so I can't imagine walking this. Let alone, we're on this gyro cam, and it kind of shows you how hard it banks, and you got to think they're doing 190 miles an hour around that corner following along. So I can't cannot imagine that at all as they come across the start-finish line here. And again, it's not where you would think it is. It's all the way down from where you expect it.
I know the story about that, actually. I took a track tour with my son this summer at Talladega, and they told us in the track walk that Bill France, when he built the track, the first year or two, they didn't sell very many tickets past the start-finish line. So he moved the start-finish line way down so that he could fill the grandstands all the way down to the end. And that's actually why he moved the start-finish line here at Talladega. It was in the same place, basically, that Daytona was originally, but he moved it to increase ticket sales further down in the grandstands.
I mean, that's a good tactic, honestly. People love to watch the tri-oval run through. You know, when I went to Daytona, I watched the Rolex 24, and my spot in the grandstands was, you know, right there at that pit exit line, about where the start-finish line is here at Talladega. So it's kind of curious to see that, you know, that was a marketing move, and obviously it worked. Talladega's built a name for itself in its own right. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, it's, you know, arguably one of the top 2 or 3 tracks in NASCAR for sure, as far as popularity. I don't know the exact numbers, but my guess is it and Daytona are in the top 3, so.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't in the top 3, if not, again, that number 2 spot. I know Daytona, it tends to be the most popular track, but Talladega is very similar to Daytona in a lot of ways, produces a lot of good racing here, and it's in a very good location too for Talladega. It's very accessible to that sort of NASCAR fan base majority that you tend to find there in that area.
Aren't you based out of Tennessee, I believe?
I'm based out of Kentucky. You're very close.
Kentucky. I knew that, actually. I just messed that up. Yeah, I did actually know that. Well, I'm originally from Louisiana, and my father was from Alabama. I never lived there, but so we used to go a lot over into Alabama, and you know, it's a good location.
What is
trouble here?
What has happened to Matt Harmon? No cautions out, but Matt Harmon into the wall hard. We'll let's get a quick replay of that here. See what happened to him. That's the 057 of Bill Petroff, and well,
yeah, it looks like Petroff just got into the back of him there a little bit and turned him.
Get one more angle of that here. This is the downside sometimes of that iRacing code is because he's down below that yellow line, iRacing won't throw a caution for that. Even though he spun, he hit the wall, I'm showing that he crashed, iRacing doesn't throw a caution for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate for him because it doesn't, if his car wasn't damaged bad, it doesn't give him a chance to at least get back to the pack, you know. But I mean, that's a standard accident. Oh, they're starting to move. These tires must be starting to go a little bit. They're starting to move around. Here we go, going below the yellow line. Oh, he saved that. That's very nice.
Yeah, Naj with a good save there. You've got Tyler Royales, who I've been keeping my eyes on pretty much at least the last 2 laps, if not longer. He's been running that high line, but he keeps getting real close to the wall and tapping the wall. It's a wonder he's still got paint on that right-hand side here as we go around. We're only 11 laps in, but we're starting to see things really spread out here. Majority of that 3-wide pack is broken off, and now you've just got this group up in front that I think will try to run away with it if they can.
Yeah, if they were smart, they would definitely work together and not jump out there and fight each other and pull away a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what they do here, because you can see JC, Mr. John Campbell there in the Krispy Kreme car, who is deciding to poke out a little bit to the right and now slotting in. So you've got 5 cars low, and you've got the number 6 of Mike Weeda left alone on the high line, but now you've got Howie Burrows and some other cars catching up.
Yeah, they stayed too wide there long enough to let the next little pack catch back up. So, but that could be a nice breakaway right there. There's enough cars there that they can form 2 lines and just run.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here as they go through. You've got this pack of cars behind them that will try to catch up, but you can see, 3 wide, trying to think about 4 wide as they go. We'll see. Oh, there's a wreck.
Oh, there's a big crash there, yeah.
And there's Tyler Royales. Naj is in that. We saw Naj right there. I saw Ward
Yep.
Fisher Ward Fisher didn't get caught up. Matt Harmon's in the background just running. All right, I've got James Doerr and Naj Crutchley. And how did it start? Well, it started with that wonderful 037 that we love here, Cameron Kane, running through. We need to get a little bit more of an angle of that here if we can. So Rui Ellis came together with Cameron Kane. That sent them around.
Yeah, that looked like a situation where the that was a big hit right there. Where the tires are starting to go and those cars are wiggling around back there, and they just looks like they got together and lost it.
Yeah, on board here with
here we go.
Naj.
So
Let's see
nice
what
angle.
Naj saw. And you see he's slowing down, trying to go high, and at that point, brakes were locked up. Nothing he could do. That's unfortunate for Naj.
Nope, that is super speedway racing right there.
A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill goes a long way. That is for sure.
Yeah, and he did exactly what you're supposed to do. He steered to the high side thinking the cars would wash down, and that one did not wash down. So that's unfortunate for him.
It's frustrating, too, as a driver when you get caught up in something like that that's not your fault. It's just unavoidable, but I think you said it best. It's just part of speedway racing.
Yeah, that's it's just the fact of life in this kind of racing, you know. But it's also, you know, the way they run so close together is also what makes it exciting and fun for the fans and the drivers. So that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, drivers, even though they get mad when they get caught up in situations like that, they still enjoy it, is what I think
Yes.
is interesting. You know, and you can speak to this, Jim, as a driver who drives a lot more than I do. You know, you love the hard racing, the exciting racing, but then when you get caught up in a moment like that, it's just frustrating, but it's still so fun in the moment.
It is, you know, and personally, I try not to let it get me super upset, but you know, it's just a fact of life on this kind of racing. You know, I'd much rather go out like that than I would just have somebody run over me in a turn on a road course. You know, now that'll make you mad.
Yeah, and that's something that I say you have a bit of experience with, if I had to guess. So
Yeah, I'm usually the one running over somebody because of my lack of experience. Let's put it this way. James has called my name several times.
I've been there for it. So let's see. While we're under caution for a minute, let's see if we can't grab Matt Harmon here, our race sponsor, if he is floating about, and just get a quick word with him here. Grab him and bring him up. Matt Harmon, it's Brad and Jim up in the booth. How you got a copy?
Yeah, man, got a copy.
Hey, so talk to me about your sponsor in the race tonight. Of course, we saw that, you know, a little bit of a spin there early on. You didn't get a caution out of it, but you're back up in second place now with a different caution coming out. So how's Talladega treating you?
Was a lot of interesting runs right there at the very beginning. A lot of 3 wide, 2 or 3 rows back. So it's super speedway racing. I think I got a little loose or had a little bit of net code, sent me down to the infield wall, but I don't think the car's hurt. So we'll do what we can do. See what we can do.
What's the end goal for tonight here? You're up front in second place. Are we thinking stay in the front and keep a run with it, or just who cares until the last 5 laps?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Let's try to just survive till the last 5 laps and then make a run for it from there.
Awesome. And then Matt, since you are our race sponsor tonight, we're going around here. It looks like we're going to be 1 lap to green this time by. Anyone you want to thank, shout out, anything you want to say here since you're sponsoring tonight's race?
Just a big thanks to Tex for sponsoring the series and all the admin, but this race is the driver appreciation, so thanks to all the drivers in the league and making this league a fun league for us to join and just run around some ovals and some road courses with. So
Awesome, Matt. Looks like we're getting back double foul here, getting ready to go green, so I'm going to drop you back down. Good luck.
all right, appreciate it.
So while you were talking to him, I noticed that Mike Weeda decided to pit a lap after everyone else. So I guess he's just trying to put some tires on it, going to ride around in the back and get some points.
I did notice that. I'm wondering the same thing as, you know, what you just said. Is this just a case of riding around in the back, and he's coming out here, so we're going down the
Yeah.
backstretch. I think he'll catch up to the pack.
Yeah, I think he at this point is just trying to, stay out of harm's way, and I think that was part of his plan. I think he probably might have stayed out, hoping to get up front and see what happened. But when that didn't happen, I think he decided to pit.
Yeah, and sometimes I think the big key with super speedways is just being willing to call that audible. Sometimes know that, hey, I'm not where I want to be. It's better for me to just fall to the back of the field than be all the way up in the front.
Yeah, I think, and plus there's some guys up front. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think either of the first two cars pitted. So they're going to be on, somewhat older tires. I'm not sure exactly when they pitted last.
Let's see. You are correct that both Bill and Matt have not pit yet, and they are going to be our front row here on this restart. So this should get a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it just depends on how they saved their tires, if they didn't abuse them. I know Matt said he spun, so he must, if he didn't get tires after that, his tires got to be pretty shot.
We'll see how Matt Harmon can get it together here. He hasn't pit. We're back green. You can see somebody already up against the wall getting out of the pack, and we are back green here. We're running through, and everybody gets away well. Let's go ahead and get them in turn one real quick, and that they go. Nice and pretty. Nothing too crazy, but it is Matt Harmon and Petrov there. No fresh tires for them. Everybody else has pit in, and they're just going to... I have a feeling that Petrov and Harmon will start to slowly slip their way back to back as this continues.
Yeah, they if nobody gets too racy though, they could stay up there for a while. Cars just tuck in behind them and they just pull them along. That might be a really good strategy for those guys.
Yeah, we'll see how they get away with it here. We're looking further back through the pack here. You've got Wu that is moving through. The pack is starting to slowly form up as they go. You've got some pockets of 2x2. Up in the front is really where we're seeing the tightest racing right now. Everybody else is kind of loosened up on that restart, but it is going to start to close back in as we go. That top 10, top 12 are now getting up into a pack and forming together, and it's all led by Bill Petrov in that 057 who has got to run there. Harmon's running the high side, and we're going just too wide right now, and everybody, I think, is just trying to keep it nice and calm and collected.
Yeah, they're playing nice right now up front. We'll see how that goes.
Plenty of racing left, though. Only lap 17 of 75. Plenty of time for these guys to find something somewhere as they continue through. I did see Cameron Kane back there. It looks like back in the pack they were looking at 3 wide here early on, but they have decided against that. Back to double file, and really at this point it's get the laps checked off and just get yourself closer to the end of this race.
Yeah, Bill and Matt's plan up there with no tires. If they're thinking we're going to get a couple more, a few more cautions, they're going to have one more set of tires than a lot of guys at the end of this race.
Could be a good move to pull off if they can get away with it. That's the big thing, though, is can they get away with it? And I really worry more about fuel than I do tires for them, just with the case of being in the pack and they're at the front of the pack. So I really worry if they have enough fuel to make it through, or maybe they're banking on another caution coming out soon.
Yeah, if they're forced to make green flag pit stops, it's going to backfire on them for sure.
They're getting a little racy there. Harmon and Petrov getting very close, but nothing too upsetting. Everybody's still side by side through. You see Harmon dropping a little bit closer to Petrov there on the low side as they continue along. We're gonna just keep this one going side by side yet again. Nobody's really looking to make a move to make it 3 wide. And as I say that, I believe I see the same person as always, Tyler Royales, back here on the high line, hugging that wall, trying to take things 3 wide. And as I also see that number 6 of Mike Weeda has said, you know what? I'll run the high line. Who's coming with me?
Yeah, here he comes. He was laying back there a little bit with his now he's got his fresh tires and he's rolling up up on the outside up there.
Doesn't look like he's got friends until we get all the way back to Royales in 17th here. 25 cars remaining. No, sorry, all 26 are on track. Naj is on track as well. So all 26 cars still there. There's Petrov getting put in the middle of the pack. There's that pink bubblegum car of Mr. Alex Goff has decided he's going to have a hubba bubba time there on the high line and is going to bring it around. And now Howie Burrows will run it up the middle. So Petrov, you will have a friend, and we're going to take it 3 wide here on lap 20.
Yep. I thought Petrov was hung out there, but it looks like he's picked up a little help down in the middle. Now we are going to be 3 wide here with a big pack. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Whew, 3 wide and let's take it 4 wide here with Howie Burrows there. Petrov, man, okay, and I think they're gonna settle that back into 3 wide. But they took it 4 wide out of 4 there for a moment. That was a little scary.
Yeah, they're getting racy back there to be this early in the race.
Yeah, lap 21 now on the clock here, and this is just, you would think this was the battle for the win, but this is just the top 10 here where they're running through. You got Petrov on the high line, Burrows in the middle. JC John Campbell has just been holding his line, staying down low there, but these two have been getting real racy here, and Petrov trying to clear himself down low, not able to. Now that 00 of Alex Goff gets left in the middle. Burrows is going to make a run again, and on the high line, you've got that 51 of Jackson who is looking around there with Bear. They're going to try to run the high line, and now we've got a true 3 wide pack as that 160 is loose.
Yeah, I thought Burrows was all over the place back there a little while ago. But it looks like he's settled it back down and he's moving up now.
Yeah, Burrows looking very feisty here early on, but again, it's lap 22 of 75, and I'll tell you right now, nobody remembers who led lap 22, but everybody's going to remember who comes across the line at 75. Got to keep this thing on the track and keep it moving. We come out of turn 2. Everybody's still looking nice and pretty. That's a little tap there from the number 65, just up ahead of Aston Rice there on Matt Harmon. A little bit of bump drafting there down the backstretch, but it's going to still be this 3 wide pack. Going to be a lot of lead changes here tonight to keep up with as they continue around. But you can see that low line looks nice and stable. And I'll tell you, the low line has a lot of these series veterans there with Harmon down there. You've got that number 42 of Benson down there. JC John Campbell is in the mix. The 405 of Emmert we've seen around a bit. That 91 of Chad Bear. We've seen Chad Bear win championships here in triple bypass. Not in this car, but we saw him win late models and win the, what'd they run last season? I just forgot, and that is not going to be good. Aston Rice, of course, qualified up on pole, so no surprise to see him there. And I'll tell you right now, if good old Al Corey is watching this, the fact that I forgot the cars they ran last season, he's going to yell at me for that. It wasn't late models, I can tell you that.
I thought, I actually watched some old races just to see how these guys ran, and they talked about it in one of the races, but I don't remember what they switched to.
Oh, it was the SRX. There it is.
That's right. Yes, the SRX.
There we go. Yeah, SRX, and then brought it around.
I don't know if
back to late models.
I don't know if you've ever driven an SRX car, but that is a handful.
They are fun, but yes, they are a handful. But it is something that if you can hold on to it, you can hold on to it. Takes a special style, but it is something that, Chad Bear won the championship on. So no surprise there. Again, these are drivers that we know have experience in this car, have experience in this league, and pretty much every night they're racing, you see these drivers on track. So, there's Jason John Campbell. And there's Alex Goff. Oh. That's going to be a caution, surely. Tex Nichols is in it.
Oh, man.
And surprisingly, I don't have a trigger for that. So we're going to have to do a little bit of the old school run here, figuring out where this happened. So
I think it was John Campbell got loose, possibly, and was sliding around in the middle there.
Yeah, we're gonna rewind it here a little bit. I don't usually like doing this.
James will love you. James will love you for that one.
Got to do what you got to do when the trigger isn't there. If it's not going to tell me. So the 704.
Oh, no, it was a 704. It was the 704.
So Kevin Cohen got loose. The whole pack checked up. And then I want to catch that on board with Tex Nichols is what I want to catch.
Well, that's another situation where he, that's another situation where he wasn't really in that group and got caught up again.
And then this is Jared Jackson.
They need to go easier on the series sponsor.
They do. And just as a reminder, a few weeks ago, we just had the Tex 60th Bash. So, really go easy on Tex.
That was a fun race. I watched that one.
It was a good one. That was a fun one to commentate and run and enjoy. But look who's up front, Matt Harmon. Is Matt Harmon going to get a free pit stop out of this? He basically just found himself at the front and kept himself at the front.
Yeah, and a few guys are pitting with him, but not as many as I thought.
Let's see, Kevin Cohen's...
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those guys pitted only, 8-9 laps ago, something like that?
Yeah, a lot of... Pretty much everyone who just came in, except for the two we talked about, pit on lap 13. And now Benson Ruelas, Kevin Cohen, and Mark Herzog will be the ones that are off the beaten path here as they are still out. But you got plenty of people in. You see some guys coming out here. It looks like some take 2, some take 4. Everybody's coming out here.
That doesn't surprise me if they only pitted 12 laps ago, come in, take 2, top your fuel off. That's a good strategy.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll play off for them too, as we're only a third race distance. We're lap 26 of 75 now. 2 cautions on the night here. And we should have a couple more cautions on the night to go, just depending on how this race runs.
Yeah, you can believe they're going to get racy down towards the end for sure. The way they're scrambling around this early in the race, they're going to get a little feisty. They're going to get really going here with about 10, 15 to go.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if this is how the first 25 laps go, the last 15 might take us just as long as it's taken this first 25. So we'll see how things go. All right, watch out for Cohen in YouTube chat. Well, whoever said watch out for Cohen, you might have called that one, because Kevin Cohen was indeed where we saw that one start.
Well, what's interesting is he currently is in. I guess he stayed out even after that, and he's in third place right now. Yeah.
That he did. Curious to know what the strategy is from Cohen here with staying out. I'm curious if you're the top 4 here and you know that you last pit on lap 13. I mean, it's just 13 laps ago, really, but I gotta wonder why they wouldn't have just went ahead and pit with the rest of the field. What do you think their strategy is here?
I think they're probably just trying to get up front and ride up there and not be back in that pack where they start getting 3 wide and take a chance of tearing your car up, especially if these guys get a one fast repair, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if their fast repair is gone, you got to come up with a strategy. You can't afford to take a chance now or your race is done.
Super speedway racing is always so unique to me in that regard, because you have to be very, very careful the whole time about what you do. And if you're not, then it can really come back to bite you. Yeah.
If his fast repair is still available, then, he's not in such a bad spot. But if it's gone, if your fast repair is gone at this point in the race, you just got to keep your nose clean, because one wreck here and you're done for the night. And you sure don't get, with every car running still, you could drop to the bottom of the points pretty fast.
And that is something you've got to be careful about here as we're running through and we keep this race going here tonight. Lap 27 of 75 of the Driver Appreciation 75 here at Triple Bypass Racing on the JP Broadcasting Network. And if you're liking what you see so far and you're enjoying things here, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bells, do all the fun things to support the channel here for absolutely free, and it will let us continue to bring you the fun content that we do every single day. Every day of the week, there's some sort of race on the JP Broadcasting Network. So make sure you're tuning in here. Pace car lights are off as we come out of 4. Jim, where do you want to be right now, in the front or the back?
At this point, if I'm in good shape, I don't mind being up front right now. Run 10, 15 laps clean up towards the front. Let them guys fight it out back there. Try to keep my car safe. You know, it doesn't matter how far back you are. You're still in danger of just like what happened to Tex, you know. But here we go, coming back to the flag. Let's rock and roll.
Green flag going. Let's get these guys across the start-finish line here as they go. This is going to be lap 28 of 75 coming in. They get around, and here we go. Benson Ruielas up in the front. Rice Cohen in the second row, and the 405 of Emmert with Howie Burrows in the third row as they come around here. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the same Howie Burrows that commentated Sunday night with me. Howie Burrows likes to race here, and yes, Howie Burrows is British, running some weird hours, but also you got JC John Campbell, the Aussie, who is running as well there. You see some cars cutting it up the middle line. That is Chad Bear with the 87 of Michael Seymour following along as well. They were just kind of snaking their way through. Up front it is Aston Rice, James Durr, and Will Emmert and Tyler Ruielas, that top 4 holding on. Ruielas trying to hold the line there. He's going to be sent to the middle. The 405 of Emmert comes around, and we've got another new leader as we cross the line to start lap 29.
Yeah, I'm looking back in the pack at Cohen, and I think he made a mistake there. He stayed out, and it looks like his tires are not good. He's going back, and his car's moving all over the place. Oh, we got we got one into the wall. That 160 is out of control.
Yep, and that is going to be Ruielas around. That takes Howie Burrows around, and that's not a good sign to see that wheel sitting sideways. But that is going to be their wreck. More cars wrecking. Howie Burrows coming through. Tex gets in with Matt Harmon in the background there. There's Cameron Kane snaking his way through. A lot more cars down low on that apron. That is the 84 I see of Ward Fisher. And, well, I don't know that we need a replay of that one because I think we saw what started that one.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to actually see it, though. I think, I think he just got a little loose there in the middle, and he bumped, I'm not sure who that was. He bumped up into the wall. Then he came down and took out the car in the bottom line. Oh, that was a hard hit right there.
It was. Let's look at Howie's view here because Howie was running there, and you could see trying to check up, gets tapped, and then gets hit. And then Howie takes a couple of hard licks here, rolling down the track, slammed by Harmon. And then Harmon goes into the number 84 of Ward Fisher. And then...
there's a few torn up race cars right there.
I don't know if that might be the big one of the night here, because that had several people in the mix.
It did. It looks like the Krispy Kreme car got through.
That's the important one. And remember, if you get Krispy Kreme in the next couple of days, you got to send your invoice to JC. JC will pay your invoice for your Krispy Kreme. He knows this. Every time we broadcast and he's on, the next day I have to go get Krispy Kreme. So just remember to blame him.
Well, I'm in Houston. I'm based out of Houston, Texas. And the closest Krispy Kreme to me is about 50 miles across Houston. And I'm a huge Krispy Kreme fan. And it's a little far. Seeing that car makes me want some Krispy Kreme. All right, let's see who we got coming down pit road here. Oh, good portion of the field's coming down.
Yeah, Aston Rice stays out. Mike Weeda stays out. They both pit on lap 25 here. We've only gotten 5 laps since the last pit stop. So
right,
lots of people in here, probably for light damage repair. I wouldn't, and probably fuel. I don't see anyone with the car going up, but I do see a lot of people taking fuel and coming back out.
Yeah, you might as well top your fuel off here, just in case.
Howie Burrows going up on the stand there, taking right sides only. Oh no, there's all four going through, and then Burrows will have some repair to go. But 31-75 and caution number 3 on the night. So my caution count was off.
Yeah, I didn't know the field well enough, but if we've had 3 already, we're going to have 6. You can believe that.
Let's see. Tyler Ruiella said, yeah, I got loose. I was death gripping my wheel the whole time before the first caution. Tell you what, Tyler, that was... I want to go back and look at that one more time here since we've got Tyler in YouTube chat and sitting in the pit box. Let's go back here, and then I'm going to do something that James doesn't like. We're going to go back a little bit. Because it almost seemed like he was wiggling already, but then him and... Who is that? The 05...
Well, looks like they were bumping. Yeah, they were just bumping each other going down the straight there and into the turn.
I mean, the 05 just wasn't giving him a break. So, or Tyler wasn't giving him a break. I don't know which way, and I don't want to call it one way or the other.
Man, I don't, if you, for the guy who can't talk to either one of them, you would think something was going on there. They look like they were kind of nudging each other back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was on purpose. I've seen it happen in iRacing where if a car taps, like the way they tapped at the start-finish line, the net code can stick them together and make it where they can't get away from each other. Kind of opposite of what you would see in real life, where usually you can kind of get up against a car, little nudge, little rub, and then get away with it and get away. Sometimes you see the cars do that, and they get stuck together.
Yeah, I mean, it could have just been a simple case of both of them, the cars are moving around on them, and they're trying to catch it. And how many times have you got partial spin, and you catch it once or twice and then lose it, So, catch it, and it goes back the other way, and they hit each other a couple times.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see, but, again, that's part of the nature of sim racing. It's just something that you learn to work with. It happens, and it is what it is, and we buckle up and we move on here. So we'll see how they finish.
And just a part of speedway racing. They're doing 180 miles an hour next to each other. It's not hard to twitch the car a little bit and get into each other and not control it.
That is very, very true. That's
So, how many guys do we have up front that did not pit this time?
All right, who didn't pit this time? We're looking at Aston Rice, Mike Weida, Alex Goff, and Jeff Slaughter. The top 4 didn't pit.
Okay, so Will Emmert's the first, and John Campbell are the first 2 guys that pitted. We'll see how that strategy works out for those guys.
See, the thing is, I don't know that the 4-lap difference is going to make a big deal. I don't know what the fuel run is here. Tyler, if you're still in a YouTube chat, you can give me a heads up on what the fuel run is. I'd appreciate it, because I'm trying to do mental math here as we're approaching half race distance. I wouldn't think you could make it half the race distance with no fuel stop, but I could be wrong. That's why I'm the commentator and not the driver. But we're coming around the tri-oval here, waiting to get back green again. And there's your Geico restart zone. And we are going to be green. Everybody's back underway, and let's see how they run.
Ashton Rice got a nice jump there.
Was a very nice jump there from Aston Rice. It looked like a little bit of wheel spin for Weida, though. Car seemed a little bit squiggly there on the start, but got going without too much of an issue. We're going to run side by side here on this restart. Nobody look at 3 wide. Howie Burrows is already back up, running in P16 at the moment, is going to be looking for something somewhere. If he can make it. And yes, Howie Burrows is still on the lead lap here as they go through. And we go into 3, still 2 by 2, and well, we'll see how long it stays that way. And if the last few restarts have told me anything, it'll stay 2 by 2 for at least the next half a lap.
Right. Maybe a full lap if we're lucky.
Maybe. And then, well, actually, I spoke
Nope.
too soon. There's the 87, Michael Seymour on the high line, just taking it 3 wide real quick.
Well, it looks like he's taking it to the back, actually. He's kind of just drifting back a little bit and he might just be sliding back to get out of the danger zone.
Yeah, he's still in a good spot on the night. He's P18 up 8 places, and honestly, if he wants out of the mix, he's got the breathing room to do it. And again, you know, as I said earlier, it really doesn't matter where you're at on lap 34. Everybody's going to remember where you're at lap 75, though. So if right now you just kind of want to drop back a little bit, cruise, and hang out, this would be a good time to do it.
It's really amazing, man. Howie Burrows looked like he's been involved in just about, not at his fault, but he's been involved in a lot of stuff tonight. And here he is just back up there in the pack running good.
It goes to show where you're at and what you need to do to make it through. And, you know, persistence, patience is key for these super speedway runs. We see everybody going through here around the front 4 are getting real close through the turns, but nothing too bad. But you can tell they're really driving that car through. I can imagine the white knuckle grip that all these guys have as they go around.
I tell you, in my runs today, man, I was having a hard time holding a straight line. I was drifting around a lot more than I thought I would be. These cars, you know, they're not as stable as people probably think they are.
It takes a lot of work to keep them in a straight line. It really does. It's kind of, I think it's deceiving when you see these cars, just how easy the drivers are at keeping them through. We're going to jump on board with one Mr. JC John Campbell here and ride on board with him for a minute and just watch that wheel, how much it twitches.
Yeah, and he's a good one. I mean, he's obviously got a lot of experience. He you know, the good ones make it look easy, but let me tell you, it's not as easy as they make it look. You know, you can see the guy in front of him there is just kind of all over the place, you know.
Yeah, and that's Jeff Slaughter.
That's what I was doing that. That's what I was doing today when I was making some runs here. It was tough to keep it on, you know, hold it on the line. He's, Campbell's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's being nice and smooth with it here. I want to jump on board with Slaughter, though, and see the difference in what Jeff Slaughter's doing. And well, immediately you can see a lot more wheel work going in here from Slaughter to keep this car in a straight line and nice and pretty. JC's got that setup. I can't even say setup. He's got his wheel dialed in where he doesn't have to worry about too much. Yeah,
I think it's an art to drive these cars smoothly. You know, you see, whoa, well, he got down into the 00 there.
Whew. That was a scary moment, but again, it shows just
that was close.
Thankfully, they're able to hold on to it. That's the impressive thing for me. It's the fact that they can have those near spins like that, hold on to it, and keep it in a straight line. I've never been lucky enough to catch it when they spin like that.
Well, I mean, you know, that's just moving around in that, you know, in that air, man. I mean, those cars I'm not exactly sure what they're running here, but they got to be 175 miles an hour, something like that. And they're, you know, that's a lot of air moving, man. These cars you get tucked up behind them, you lose the air on your nose of the car, and they just want to, you know, they just want to wiggle around and stuff. You don't have as much downforce on the front of the car.
The top speed, 195 miles an hour down the backstretch. Actually, top speed of the pack, 198 from from Howie Burrows, actually. Again, saying the name again, and it's not because we're biased here at JPB. It's just because Howie Burrows just happens to be here and racing, and we have to mention him, and you see him just drop out of the pack.
So right there, going into that turn, they're doing almost 200 miles an hour. You know, and if you're tucked up behind somebody and don't have any air on the nose of your car, those front tires want to move around on you.
Yeah, only so many things can counteract the force of air at 200 miles an hour, and I don't think Goodyear rubber is one of the things that will be able to fight that force. So you see the drivers going through, and got to remember that they're still wiggling. Oh, there's another little wiggle though. That's Emmert catching it there. Everybody spreads out for a second though.
Yeah, there was a few guys puckering up on that one for sure.
I don't know about you, but I like to call that a Code Brown moment. I like to keep a button on Amazon for overnight shipping of new underwear. Some of these drivers might need to set that up, and if they do call me, I'll show them how to set that up on Amazon. One-click shipping.
Right. We need an affiliate link.
Oh yeah, we do. James. Actually, no, James isn't watching this. He's broadcasting another race here on the JP Broadcasting Network. It's going tandem with us right now. So I'll send him a message about that after the fact. That could be a good option here. Affiliate JP Broadcasting branded undies that say Code Brown on them.
Look at Mike Weida here. He's starting to pinch the cars down on the bottom a little bit. I don't know if he's doing that intentionally to try to move the top line a little bit. But if you notice, he's not letting them slide up the track. He's holding them down.
I do think he's doing that on purpose, like you mentioned. I think he's trying to pinch a little bit and just keep things a little bit more compact. But he is opening the door there for Slaughter and Campbell if they really wanted to throw him in the middle, take it 3 wide, and be done with it. But not doing that. But uniquely, Weida's holding the middle line, and Rice is leading that low line on the low line. Usually you would see them shifted up a lane and running high and middle.
Yeah, like you see going into the turns, he's high. But as he's coming off the turns, he slides down and pinches them where they can't drift up the track. It's got to be a strategy. He's obviously doing that on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I'm not used to seeing drivers run that, but I can't think that is just, an accidental, like, that's where I'm at on the track. He's being way too consistent with it.
Yeah, no, he's doing it. He's either pinching them down or he could be pulling a side draft off of him. I'm not sure.
The side draft is very possible, trying to keep things up where he's at. Top 19 are all in your shot right here, all the way back to Cameron Kane. And then from there, well, it's 11 seconds back to Dustin Barton here running with Fisher. And this is just a 2-car tandem running. And it shows how important the draft is, because I said it was 11 seconds back. It's already 12 seconds back now for Barton and Fisher, just in the time it took me to finish the sentence. Yeah,
I don't know if their cars could be damaged a little bit or something, but even if it's not, though, 2 cars running together or this solo like this, it's a dramatic difference. Dramatic.
And it's going to produce some interesting problems here once we get going, because there is your lead pack, and then Tex Nichols. Well, Tex Nichols is going into 3 with a pretty beat up race car. So the pack's going to catch him, and then they've got to get around him. And sometimes that can be a whole nother problem.
Yeah, especially if the pack has decided that they're going to, get racy and run, 3 wide. If they just stay 2 wide, Tex will probably just drift up to the top and let them go around. Which based on the time and distance here, it looks like they're going to catch him before they seem to get too racy.
Yeah, I'd say
I really want to talk to Weida after the race and find out what he was doing here, if this was, or if anybody happens to know in YouTube chat, if he is indeed trying to pull a side draft, or if he's pinching them down. I'd be curious to find that out. I don't have enough experience with super speedway racing to know how much of a side draft you can get there. They jumped right on down to the bottom.
And Tyler did say that the side draft is really strong, so it is quite possible that is exactly what he's doing. He's taking that side draft and going, but now it doesn't matter. He's up in the lead of the pack.
Well, he got enough out of that him and Jeff Slaughter both were able to slide down in front of those guys. So whatever it was, side draft or pinching them down, it eventually worked, and he slid right on by him.
Tex Nichols here. I want to check with him. He's now going to be at the tail end of this pack. If he can keep up with the pack, he'll be the first car and only car, actually, I believe, a lap down. So that will put him in the position for the wave around if there should be another caution with 30 laps to go. The way they've been racing, I mean, guys have settled down here, but, you know, we have that fun thing called the commentator's curse, where as soon as I call something out, something changes here, and looks like we're going to go ahead and take this 3 wide yet again here. Slaughter and Weeda almost got squeezed in the middle, but right at the last second, Rice looks away, but no, he might send him in the middle now, and JC John Campbell's going to take that high line around there with Herzog.
Well, I'll tell you what, they have that high line working.
It is moving. See how they go down the backstretch here, and it's going to be Weeda running with Slaughter, Campbell, Herzog, Rice. They all come around here holding on, and Weeda's getting pretty defensive here. He's still trying to throw that middle line in, even though he's running the low line.
Yeah, they. It looks like Ashton Rice there's trying to get his bottom line back. He's waiting for him to drift up, and he's looking hard low.
He'll find something here. Goff is going to poke it up high, though.
Goff just... Yeah, you see how Weeda drifts up there a little bit. Weeda's car must run really well in that second line up there, that middle line, because it seems like he likes to be a car length off the bottom at least.
Yeah, he's not ran hard on that bottom line. He keeps pulling up, and there he goes again with Slaughter up in that middle line. They're going to block Goff. And Goff is going to say, you know what, I'll run all the way up if I need to, but Weeda's going to just hold him to the middle, and Rice might get his low line back if he can. We'll see what happens here. Slaughter's going to hold high with Goff.
Yeah, they didn't follow Weeda this time, so he's not going. Oh, there they go. They're going to go 3 wide here.
Yeah,
and Weeda's stuck in the middle.
Weeda out to dry here. It is a Weeda sandwich with plenty of cars to make the bread. They go around, and there's Slaughter. He's going to slot in front, and Weeda's going to say, all right, I'll get right behind Slaughter. They've swapped positions this time. While we've still got Rice leading everyone, now Weeda and Slaughter have just kind of inverted. Goff is still leading Campbell there on that high line, but they need some help in the middle. They really do if they want to keep that going. But now they're going to just run back up in the high line right in front of Goff. Continue this on lap 48 of 75.
Yeah, I think Weeda's gotten in his mind to do that same strategy he did before. The question is Slaughter going to do it with him, being that Slaughter's leading? Slaughter may not be as comfortable getting that close.
And then you could see Weeda do what Slaughter did and just decide to poke the high line and get around Slaughter and then jump back in front of him. Leave him
They
out
got a nice
track.
run right there. They got a nice run right there, though.
Yeah, they did as they go through.
Yeah, they didn't take advantage of it. They had a spot to move down if they wanted to.
Weeda getting a little swirly there as they go through, and we continue to watch them around here. Down the backstretch they go, and I don't see anything, really big from them here going through. The 405 touches the yellow line, gets a little loose there.
Yeah, Emirates starting to wiggle a little bit in there. There's a lot of shaky air going around in there with those cars moving around like that. He's,
Still holding on to it, though, which is important here. As we cross the line, lap 50, we're now within that 25 to go line. This is where I think things will start opening up. And look at the run that Slaughter and Weeda have there on the high line. They're going to be trying to look. Slaughter could drop down. Weeda doesn't have room, though, and they'll just keep it on the high line. There's a bump.
Oh, nice bump draft right there. Yeah, he got right up on him and gave him a little shove. They're running good together.
They really are. They've practiced this. They have for sure ran together and practiced running together. And that is, I think, one of the big things that, helps them. It's something that if you're new to speedway racing, I would say find a friend and y'all go run around together in just a practice session. It makes your life easier. Because when you get people, you'll learn that there are people who don't know how to draft, and they will make your life much more difficult.
Yeah, and the way they swapped spots back there earlier, that it looked like 2 guys that had done that before with each other. You know what I mean? They just had to. It was a real clean position swap, and yeah. So you're probably right. They probably have practiced this. I mean, he's definitely bumping him down the straight, and they're moving.
I could barely see the wall between the bumpers.
If Goff would get up there with them and tuck in, they could really get a little train going. Oh, they slid back down to the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's interesting they brought that back to the bottom there to hold off Rice. It's the top line has stalled out here over the last little bit, and now look at this. I think this is going to be Slaughter getting passed by Weeda. Oh, and they might have miscalculated it because there's Goff going around the high line. It's going to put these two in the middle. There goes Slaughter sliding down. Weeda's in the middle all alone. And now Goff, JC, and Herzog on the high line with Matt Harmon behind.
Yeah, Weeda's looking for some help there, a hole to open up for sure.
I think there was a little bit of contact there with Weeda and Goff. And now Weeda's going to slide on back.
If they didn't touch, they disrupted each other's air bad enough that it didn't do either car any good.
Yeah, now Weeda.
Yeah, Weeda's 5-6 spots back now. He's gonna have to find a partner and come running again. If I was him, I'd slide up there and on that top line and see if I can get a run with those guys.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. It looks like Burrows might be thinking about taking a peek there, but doesn't. Slaughter's going to hold on to the lead up here, so Jeff Slaughter will lead another lap. 23 laps to go, and there's Burrows sliding up the high line.
Here comes Howie.
Howie Burrows likes to put himself in plenty of places, and one of them seems to be the front of this pack and running Xfinity. I've talked to Howie extensively, of course, because Howie's a commentator here on the JP Broadcasting Network, and one of the things Howie's talked about with me is this series and his goal, and Howie's goal is, I want to win. And, well, Howie seems to be in a good place to pull a Speedway win here, depending on how this race goes.
I mean, the guy's been somewhere near every accident tonight, and yet here he is with, what do we got, 22 laps to go or so, and he's, here he is back in the action.
Howie currently up in P5. Looking to run that high line. The high line is now stalled out there. As you can see, Rice on the low line in that pink number 65. It's run through the top three. Currently Slaughter. Weeda's gotten back up to second place. And Jason Benson has found his way into P3 in that Ghost liveried number 42. Very, very good band Ghost is. So very, very unique to not see someone running a true NASCAR design. But I do think Ghost sponsored a race car. I can't remember for sure.
So is Ghost, that's a band?
That is indeed a band.
Okay, because there's also a Ghost energy drink, I believe.
Yeah, and I think we have another driver that's running the Ghost energy drink livery, but Benson is running the Ghost band livery here. You can see as he comes around this zoomed in shot, you'll see the picture on the front. It's definitely not the energy drink.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it's a good looking livery, actually.
It is indeed. I like it a lot. It's something unique, and can't think of where else I've seen it, but not really a lot of other places. Going through here, Slaughter and Weeda are back 1 and 2. I don't know if we mentioned that, but the two Canadians in the field are 1 and 2 yet again. Yeah,
they just seem to be working well together. They've definitely got something going tonight for sure. They seem to have the class of, oh no.
Oh, and that,
wow, that's Benson and Weeda.
Changes everything.
Oh my goodness, I'd love to see that again. I saw it coming, but I'm not sure. I think Weeda just kind of slid up there and caught the nose of Benson.
Let's again. I'm gonna one more time.
Yeah, Alex Goff got caught up in that too.
Oh man, that has taken out so many drivers here. Let's find our chopper cam really quick. Where's our chopper?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, see, he was down there, and he just. Oh no! Okay.
Benson came down.
Yeah, Benson came down, and Weeda went up. I would say that's a racing incident, but yeah, Benson came off his line, and and then Weeda drifted up and hooked him, or got hooked by Benson, I guess.
Yeah, this is Elton Wu running off track, trying to avoid. The pace car just says, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to pull out into this. Benson's in it. Goff is in it. Will Emmert's in it. Matt Harmon is in it. Michael Seymour's in it. Howie Burrows is in it. I mean, yeah, because as they're spinning, you've got Will and Howie up front, and Michael Seymour's in the mix. There's Seymour. JC's in it. The 57 is in it.
Yeah, the 57 got hit hard.
There's Howie.
Yep. I have no doubt he'll be back at the front soon.
And then, man.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Wow. You know, you said Elton Wu there was avoiding the field or the crash. Man, that's a guy's name we haven't mentioned all night long, and he is he's pretty strong runner in this series from the stuff that I watched. I don't I'm not super familiar with race in and race out, but we haven't said his name all night till just now.
Yeah, Elton Wu is a solid driver. Been running middle of the pack for most of the night, just kind of not being noticed, running back just outside of the top 20, not really wanting to be noticed, not wanting to be, kind of seen, I guess is the best way to say that, and just sort of being there. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with Wu now up in P11. See what Elton Wu could put together.
So who stayed out there? Did we get anybody that did not pit? I'm not good at watching the timing and scoring yet. That's new to me.
Everyone except for Tex Nichols, who is down a lap, Kevin Cohen, who's down laps, and Jared Jackson, who's down laps, came in the pits. Everybody from first place back, with the exception of those lap down cars, pit.
Well,
but Tex Nichols.
That's probably well. Tex is going to probably pit on the next after it comes around again. He just made up a lap there.
Yep.
But he'll probably pit here. But so that's it probably for pit stops, unless somebody does something. We get something late in the race. That's probably the last pit stop for everybody. Would probably be 17 or 18 to go, 17 to go when we get back to green.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be 17 to go when we get back to green, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So let's see who else we got to talk to tonight. We talked to our race sponsor, Matt Harmon. Let's see. Who else can we pull up?
Let's talk to. Can we talk to Ashton Rice? He's been up there mixing it up back and forth with those guys, and he's still up there.
I don't see Ashton anywhere, unfortunately, in the chat. I tell you who I will grab though. I'll grab JC John Campbell here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see how old JC is doing here. It's gonna be Brad and Jim. How you doing, Mr. JC John Campbell?
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
How is Talladega treating you?
Well, I'm due for a shocker, and this is about it. I've had some pretty good luck over the last 3 or 4 runs, and this one not so much. Fast repair gone, 6 minutes of optionals left, so I'm just tacking on the back to see what I can do.
Still 18 laps to go, though, so you know what they say about super speedways, you're never out till you're out.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I saw that one coming up the top. There's a little bit of blocking going on up front, and I went down underneath and still managed to tag Michael and a few others. So, well, that happens. Super Speedway.
That is true. And JC, you've had that run, you've had that through. How many more cautions are we expecting on the night, do you think? We're hitting that point where I think guys are going to start getting racy.
Yeah, I think one more than the green-white checker.
All right. And while I've got you in the booth here, JC, anyone you want to thank or shout out while I've got you?
No, not tonight. Mum said if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Fair enough. Well, I will say one thing nice. I'm going to send you my invoice for the Krispy Kreme I'm going to have to pick up tomorrow because your car's making me hungry.
All right, so make sure it's half a dozen original glazed and half a dozen mixed.
I can do that.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm a glazed chocolate covered guy, so I'm gonna have to get at least a half dozen of those.
Donuts.
All right, JC, you're going back green. Good luck, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's a moment with our resident Aussie, and you heard what he said. Nothing nice, say nothing at all. But well, in 18 laps, we'll see what he likes to let fly as we're coming around here, getting ready to start. And it is Rice and Herzog up front yet again here, Jim.
Yeah, I mean they've been running up here a lot lately. It's we got a couple of new names up here though. Brad Kress is up here now. Haven't heard much out of him tonight so far.
That we haven't. I will tell you though that whenever I was hanging out with the drivers before the race and I was watching practice and just kind of, bantering back and forth with the drivers, one of the fun things I like to do before a broadcast is go down and beg them to show mercy on me for the night. As soon as Brad Kress joined the chat, everyone looked around and said, all right, our winner's here. We're done. And I said, all right, I'll remember that. So Brad Kress running second place back behind Aston Rice. Anything's possible at this point.
Well, these guys know who's fast because they're in a Discord with each other. They practice together. Just like a lot of these leagues, it's these guys run practice. They'll open up a practice session. They all get in there and run. They know who's fast. And the fact that we haven't said his name all night is probably a good sign at this point because mostly what we've been talking about is trouble.
That is true. And you're there in the end. Again, I've said it a few times through the broadcast. Nobody cares where you're at on lap X, Y, Z. They care where you're at on lap 75 here of this driver appreciation 75. And, well, we're going back 3 wide again.
How is Matt Weida back up into 4th place?
I was going to ask the question, and then I remembered Mike Weida hasn't been in any of our messes tonight, any of our other cautions. So I am guessing Mike Weida, Slaughter, Herzog, they all used their one and only fast repair on the night. So if they are in anything else, they're done.
Man, I tell you what, though, but that's a great save to keep it till then. I mean, he's about to run back up here into the lead again. Here they go again, Jeff Slaughter. And Weida.
Yeah, these two are not done with it, and they have said, I'm not going to go out without a fight. So Slaughter and Weida running their middle. High line is going to be Herzog. It's going to be that number 13 of Barton. You got the 91 of Chad Bear, and then behind them is that number 5 of Wu. Elton Wu, who we haven't said a lot of things about tonight, but Elton Wu is in the top 10 right now. This is your top 10 end picture. Your top 10 ends with that number 78, the hot sauce car of Ben Harkham there on the low line. And then behind that is the controversial crop car of Cameron Kane. Cameron Kane has a history on this channel, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, and as I know for a fact that James wears Crocs. I am not going to admit to wearing Crocs, and I certainly would never do it outside of the house.
Hold on. James Parfit wears Crocs.
Yeah, didn't y'all talk about that on one of the broadcasts, and you were giving him heck about it?
I don't remember that for some reason, but now I do.
I want to say it was Talladega last year because I watched last year's Talladega race earlier this week just for the fun of it, and I could have swore that you were giving him heck about wearing Crocs, and he said something to the effect of he will wear them to the store. And then y'all talked about shipping each other Crocs.
Oh yeah, because that's when the Lightning McQueen Crocs had came out, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that now. It's funny how you jog my memory with that, because me and James have done probably... I've been working with James for over a year now, and me and him have done easily over 100 broadcasts together. So the fact that you're able to jog my memory to that's impressive. Okay. Still need to ship James that pair of Lightning McQueen Crocs.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, this is a copycat of the last 20 laps right now, what we got going on up here, with the exception of now it's Brad Kress in there behind Ashton Rice.
Curious to see how this ends here. 12 to go as they cross the line. Everybody's going to start getting feisty.
Yeah.
Is this the time where you try to make the run to the front? If you're near the back of this pack, you try to find a friend, get on the high line, and run, or would you wait another lap or two?
No, I mean you need to work your way up certainly up to the top 10. At this point, if you're not in the top 10, if it goes green, you're not going to get there probably. I mean, very few people do that not too many people can do what Dale Sr. did, which was 17 places, I believe, in 3 laps at Talladega one time.
I don't even know how Dale Sr. did what Dale Sr. did. It's interesting, honestly. Tyler Ruelas, that was me who said Brad was winning. Okay, you know what? That's fine. You got a good point there. I knew somebody said it, and for some reason I'm not surprised it was Tyler Ruelas. Tyler always tends to have the most correct call-outs here, so I'm not surprised with that one. Looking down the backstretch here, Rice, Slaughter, Weeda, Crest, your top 4. You got Chad Bear and Elton Wu behind, and then from there it is Mark Herzog, Michael Seymour, Ben Harkham, Naj Crutchley round out your top 10. Cameron Kane there in that green Croc car MP11, and has Fisher on the high line. Top 12 all packed together with the top 14 all in this pack. So 2x2 through your top 12 is what you need to know out of the sentence I just said. Going through, Weeda might be looking for a run around Slaughter, might be taking it 3 wide there with that number 5 of Elton Wu if Slaughter doesn't give the way soon.
I think they're looking, they're waiting though. They're not going to make that move yet. They just want this thing to go green to the end, and they're in a great spot to make a run with 2 or 3 to go, something like that. I don't think they're gonna upset the the apple cart this early in this, still with 10 laps to go, not yet.
Yeah, 10 to go, plenty of racing to run. If you're doing the math, that is over 25 miles left to go here on this Talladega Speedway as we run around through the tri-oval. No, the start-finish line isn't here. I almost just said across the start line. Now I can say across the start-finish line. Talladega will always trip me up with that, but I'll get better about it by the end of this race. That's another car going a lap down there on the low side. That was Benson and Dorr that have now went a lap down. So only your top 15 on the lead lap, and with JC John Campbell well off the pace of the pack.
If you look at Weeda and I'm so bad with the names, I don't know the guys yet. Slaughter and Weeda, now they're starting to run that pinch down line on the bottom again. See how they're coming down and pinching them? They weren't doing that earlier, and now with 9 to go, oh my goodness. Oh, he's gonna hold on though. Wow.
Woo. Wow. Round of applause for Aston Rice for saving that one and getting back up in the pack.
That was a nice save right there.
That was almost very bad, but I was wanting to show that Slaughter's pinching.
Look who's in the lead.
Brad Kress in the lead with 8 to go with his friend Chad Bear behind. This is about to be a race of all races here. Yeah. Who's going to take it 3 wide?
Oh, I think the 3 wide's either going to come from Ashton or from Elton Wu. I think one of them are going to. But see, by them pinching down that low line, they're not allowing somebody to jump up in the middle. So whoever's going to try to go 3 wide is going to have to take it around the top.
They come around here into turn 1, still running the 2x2. They go. A little wiggle there from the 6 of Weeda. Weeda's trying to pinch down. Slaughter's got Chad Bear pinched very low there, but Brad Kress well and secure out in the lead at the moment. Aston Rice, they're back up into 4th place. Going to very quickly make it 3rd place because that top line stalled out yet again as they go.
Yeah, they lost their push, but there's still plenty of time. I tell you, Weeda's car is moving all over the place again, though, man. He already had that incident 10 laps ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone here in this top 15 has a fast repair left. So with 6 to go here, if anyone gets out of shape and we have a big moment, it's going to be game over for a lot of drivers here. It's going to be a case of just survival at that point.
Yeah, I think anything from here at this point, if you're involved in something, I don't think you're getting back up there. This is I think you're looking at the top 8. I think that's where your winner's coming from. Maybe top 10, depending on what kind of, if that high, when somebody jumps out in that high line, if it can get a run.
Coming around here through 3 out of 4 here. Kress and Slaughter side by side, and then Bear and Weeda for 3rd and 4th. We've seen Herzog back in the background. Watch that 57. He's given a couple of taps to the 5. The 9 of Kress drops low there. Chad Bear goes through, coming through the tri-oval, and they are going to keep it double file again. 5 to go as they cross the line. We'll see how this plays out into 1 and 2. You see the 6 looking high there, and that is the 5 of Elton Wu that just had a blink of all ages dropping off there. That was a very scary blink to have when you're pack racing at 190 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's man, I tell you what, I hate to be behind a guy that does one of those long blinks like that, because you just never know.
It can mess so many things up, and it's about as scary as seeing someone get loose, honestly. When I see someone blink like that, it's never fun to see. We're going to cross the line here. Once they get through the tri-oval and they get down this second chute, it'll be 4 to go. This is where we need to start seeing moves made, I think. And look at this. They're catching up to a lap down pack. That could really change things. Oh, Chris was smart, though. He's working his way up. He got up around those guys. Yeah, and that is Tex Nichols.
Yeah.
That is the 405 of Will Emmer, and that is the number 28 of Matt Harmon. And look at that. They get all the way down off the racing surface and stay well out of the way. Now that is what I call respect.
Yeah, that's good experience racing. Oh no, we got big trouble here. Here it goes.
That's the big one coming around. Oh, we
yeah,
got a car
there it
upside
is.
Down.
Yep. Who is that? Elton Wu? No.
That was Herzog. Upside down, comes back right side up. Ooh.
Yeah, that car's tore up. Man. So you got Kress, Rice, and Slaughter that made it through. Ward Fisher looks like got through.
There's Harkham. There's Naj. There's Herzog. Chad Bear got caught up in that. So the full list of names I have is Chad Bear, Ben Harkham, Naj Crutchley, Mark Herzog, James Doerr, Will Ermer, Elton Wu. Lots of guys in that one. Well,
so Weeda was involved in that? Oh yeah, there's Weeda's car bouncing up. Oh yeah, he was involved big time. He's tore up.
It's for some reason it's not telling me when it starts here. So we're gonna go back. So it's that number 87 of Michael Seymour that kicks things off here. And let's get a blimp cam of this one. So watch them as they go through. So Aston Rice took it low and wanted to go through. Comes around to the low line there. And then
problem was Weeda came down. Weeda's car wiggled again, and he came down on that 87, I think.
And it was all over from there. Weeda goes up in the air. Herzog, look at Herzog's tire just take off. You don't usually see cars do that.
Yeah, you get the 48's hoods up in his face. He can't see anything.
Then there's Tex getting clipped again by that number 6.
Oh, yeah. He drove all the way through Weeda there.
Let's get the onboard here with Herzog. Let's rewind this back real quick, and we'll get an onboard with Herzog.
Yeah, he went for a ride. That would hurt if you got a motion rig.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, yeah, that was the big one.
Yeah,
we're gonna end up green white checker here probably, or we might finish it straight. But and Brad Kress is in the lead.
Hey, JC John Campbell, I won't send you my invoice because you appropriately called that a green white checkered. Good job. Nah, I'm just playing. He's still getting my invoice for that. I just might put a 5% discount on it.
Right. Send him a free glaze or something.
I mean, honestly, could be an option.
So
All right.
Slaughter made it out of that where Weeda didn't. You know, they were running together all night. So, you never know. Him and Ashton Rice may hook up here.
Yeah, that happened right behind him. Look at that mirror on the left-hand side. You can see the absolute mess going on behind, and he just drove off into the sunset.
Yeah, he sure did. Where is Wu at? He didn't tear up his car too bad.
Let's see.
He's backing up 11th. He's in 11th.
Yeah, he's just now coming out of the pits.
He just bumped the wall with the back of his car. I don't think he got tore up too bad.
You can see the back bumper's a little. It's got a little off to it, but
oh yeah,
he might be able to stick with the pack.
So obviously he didn't have a repair left, but
I think he'll be able to stick with the pack though. We'll see how it goes here.
His spoiler looks good. He should be all right.
Pace car comes across. Is this going to be our one to go? And the answer is yes. So one to go here. I want to give another shout out to our race sponsor of tonight, Matt Harmon. Matt Harmon, who has had one heck of a night and is currently sitting back P22. And again, a big shout out to our series sponsor, Tex Nichols here with NicholsOilsPro.com. If you want to check them out, NicholsOilsPro.com is where you go. I personally buy all of my oil and fluids for my race car from Tex Nichols and Nichols Oils Pros. My personal car and my truck also run oil from Nichols Oils Pros. So if you are looking for somewhere to buy any sort of automotive fluid, they are going to be the one to do that.
So here as we're coming around for the green flag this time, it looks like Ward Fisher is going to be behind Ashton Rice. Is that right?
That is correct. And you can see that corner of that 84 is a little bit wrinkled there on the back end, that back passenger side.
If he can stay up there, that's obviously going to be the push because I think clearly at this point, Ashton Rice and Kress are going to, hook up.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to watch how it plays out. So, for those of you who this might be your first NASCAR race, which I don't know if there's any of you, but I always like to think there's at least one. If this is your first time seeing a green-white checkered, and you're saying, well, what's a green-white checkered? Well, what this means is we'll come around, we'll take the green flag from Barney, our wonderful flag man here in the stand, and then the next thing we'll take is going to be the white flag, and then from there, the next flag ends it. If they don't make it to the white flag, we rack them, stack them, and send them again. So as we come through the tri-oval, keep that in mind. They have to complete this first lap and get to the white flag here before they can go through. And as they come around, we will get ready to go. Green flag waved, and there is Barney with the flag. Pace car's in. Let's take it around here. 3 more laps as they go through. And there it is. And Brad Kraft's getting away very well.
Yeah, Slaughter and Kress jumped out there. That's that's 2 experienced race car drivers, and they made a move there.
That they did. They're going to come out at 2, keep it together. They're back in the background, though. We got the 28 of Matt Harmon wrecking. He's off the racetrack, though. No caution yet again. We saw that happen to Harmon early in the race, and we see it happen yet again back in the... But nope, there it is. He came back on the track. Oh, what did he...
It looked like Elton Wu was in that with him, too.
I
saw the vanilla wafer car.
That was Elton Wu that got caught up. Harmon came sliding back up on the track. Let's rewind back to where that started with Harmon here. So we saw this initial contact with the 78 of Harcum. He got a bump from Herzog, and it sent him off the track. Harcum holds on to it. Harmon comes back up, clobbers the side of Elton Wu. Nothing he could do. So then at that point, the caution has to be thrown.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he got a pretty good bump there.
A really good bump there, honestly. And what does this mean? Well, like I said before, we rack them, we stack them, we send them again. So we'll do our another caution cycle here. Everybody will get the chance to pit, and then we'll send it around. And I want to make you aware of one minor rule that might make things interesting if it goes through here. So there's a rule in iRacing that if a race goes to a caution, it doesn't complete a full lap, the next restart is single file.
Oh, that would be an interesting twist.
So we might get a single file restart here on this one. I don't know how to feel about that.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I want to see a double file restart.
I do too. I want to see what happens with Brad Crest and Slaughter if they run side by side through to the end. That I think would be a real good show here.
And you got Ricky Barbary and Cameron Kane up there now. They kind of made a move in that last little segment and jumped up there, and now they're sitting in third and fourth.
You know, I don't think we've talked about Ricky Barbary either a lot this race here. That Showtime car started out in P7 and is running right now P3.
Yeah, they slid right up in there on that last little restart time. And they're sitting pretty right now. And Ashton Rice is back there in sixth place now. That they didn't get off very well at all.
Yeah. Cameron Kane's and I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one to see how it finishes out and see where they go.
It is. Take a look back in seventh and look who's sitting there. JC John Campbell.
The Aussie has found his way back up into seventh here, so he'll be happy with a finish, I'm sure.
Yeah, considering how his night was going earlier, I'm sure he'd be thrilled with the top 10 if he can hold on to that.
I wouldn't blame him a bit. I would be too. Well, I'm trying to make a thought in my head of what's going to happen here. So for Slaughter, it'll be interesting to see what he can do to run off. For Crest,
they're double filing them. They're putting them back double. No, maybe not. I don't know.
I think
they were double.
They might be. We won't know till they cross the start finish line, though. For Tyler Ruelas, by the way, since he's now called me out in YouTube chat, Brad win this for me. He wants Brad Crest to win, and also know my precious in and out car. So he's upset about Herzog being out. Of course.
Yeah, I'm pulling for all the food cars myself.
I get that completely. I do understand that. All right. Pace car lights are out, and I see single file. Also, Howie, are you not on track right now? Why are you chatting in the YouTube chat? Are you not on track? Have I missed something somewhere for Howie Burrows?
He's not. He's sitting back there 22 laps down, and I believe he is sitting in the pits.
All right. So that would be why Howie Burrows is chatting in YouTube chat. Then again, we have had drivers chat and drive in this series before. That is not something that I haven't seen them do before. So we'll keep our eyes on that and see what happens here. Single file restart. Jim, does this limit the opportunity for Slaughter or anyone else behind?
No, I think it's good for Slaughter. He's obviously going to pull out, and once they get down to one lap to go, probably he'll pull out, and if Barbary goes with him, they can get the jump on Crest. I mean, I like where Slaughter's sitting right now.
Slaughter's probably the best seat in the house, and Crest is probably the worst seat in the house. We're being honest with ourselves here. We'll see how this one plays out. It's gonna be close.
it's all going to be what happens when Slaughter pulls out. Does does the car behind him go with him, or does he jump up and slide in behind Cress? And
Hey, you never know. We could see a wild four wide run to the line. Wouldn't be the first time. Super Speedway Racing loves to produce good runs. This will be our second attempt at a green-white checkered here with the Driver Appreciation 75 here with Triple Bypass Racing on the JP Broadcasting Network. Attempt number 2 for the green-white checkered. They're going to come around the tri-oval, hit that Geico restart zone, and then you'll hear the green, green, green. There it is, and we're back underway. This is attempt number 2, and Crest tried to get a run real fast. He got a little bit of a jump, but Slaughter was ready for him. Slaughter's going to slot back in, and they got 2.5 miles to make it back around to the line for the white flag. Remember, if they don't hit the white flag, we do it again. But as we come around turns 1 and 2, Slaughter's going to hold on right to the back of Crest.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's going on in the back of the pack, because these guys aren't going to make a move yet. Well, I say that, but Barbary, he jumped right out there.
Barbary takes the run. Kane takes the run. The number 13 of Barton is going to look there. The 65 of Rice goes. Now we got a pack forming. Slaughter looking around there. Cress is going to hold the line. Remember, if they hit the white flag, we run all the way to the checkers. Here we go. Coming out of turn 4 they go. They'll come up to the tri-oval. It's still Slaughter low.
Yeah, looks like we're going to go to the end here.
Coming around, white flag this time by. Next flag ends it, and that is Cress low. Cress is slowed down with Slaughter. That Highline's gotten the move. The 04 there, little wave up from Slaughter. They got about 2 more miles of racing to go. That 04 Barbary trying to make a move. Cameron Kane is going to look high. Now we go 2 by 2 up on the Highline is going to be Kane with Chad Bear.
I think that Cress must have got a shot in the back that his car didn't like or something. And, oh, man, look at Slaughter just running down on him.
Yeah, Slaughter brings it down low. We're going to come around. There we go. Slaughter looking for something. He can't do it. It's going to be between Kane and Barbary. They're going to come around the trial. We'll look up high. There goes Slaughter spinning in the background. But we're going to come to the checkered flag. It is going to be Ricky Barbary. Brings it around ahead of Brad Cress in second. And third place was Chad Bear back in the background. Well, there was a spin, and it was indeed Jeff Slaughter.
Ashton Rice and Jeff Slaughter in the back spinning.
And Jeff got it back on track.
Slaughter got it back out on the track and finished the race.
Ooh.
Yeah, we both felt that one, man. That was a straight head-on shot. Actually looked like Cress was gonna Rice was gonna try to finish the race in reverse or something.
I think he didn't have his engine right there.
No, he probably didn't. But it was funny for that split second when I saw him spin around like that. And but then, man, he took a shot. But luckily, this is sim racing, so we know everybody's okay. Yeah, man, Ricky Barbary out of nowhere. He got it done, though.
We didn't talk about Barbary for most of the night, but this just goes to show what I said over and over. Nobody cares where you're at up until the last lap. You make that last lap move work, and you can find yourself in great places. I want to watch that last lap one more time here, because Ricky Barbary's up in front at this point, runs it around.
See, I think right before that, literally right before we got on this replay, I think Cress got a shot in the back from Slaughter, and his car didn't like it. He moved into the middle line, and it took all his momentum away.
Yeah, something happened because Cress lost a lot, but then he starts running here, and then he gives a bump right there to the 04 who holds on to it. You've got Bear and Kane on the high line. They're holding it together through here. We come into 3. I thought at this point that 13 of Dustin Barton was going to get a run on the high line with Arkham, and they go through. Everybody's wiggling. Slaughter's looking low, looking high, looking low, doesn't have room. He wanted to force it 4 wide there and try to make a run. Didn't have space, and then he drops down there, and him and Rice come together, opens up the door, gets it through, and Bear just had enough momentum to get Kane at the line.
Yeah, Kane really was in control right there. and he let his car slide up the track a little bit. Or I shouldn't say let. His car slid up the track a little bit right there. And that gave Barbary the opportunity to slide in underneath him. That was I think what happened to Crest there was he just got a shot in the back at the wrong angle or something, and his car didn't like it, and he lost that momentum.
And it's unfortunate to see that too, but that's super speedway racing. That's what happens sometimes.
Yeah. And that's two guys that that don't work together on a regular basis. And, at that speed and you're trying to give the guy a bump to get him moving and you just catch him a little off center and that's all it takes and it gets him wiggling, and that's enough. Because if you look at it, he slid up into that middle lane and that was it. He lost all his momentum. But man, what a nice move by Ricky Barbary there at the end to duck under Kane like that and and finish that race and win it. That was great.
Yeah, Ricky Barbary being there when it counts, where it counts, pulls out the win there. Brad Kress, the predicted winner, finds it home in P2. Chad Baer in third place with Cameron Kane in P4, and then Ben Harcum in fifth. Dustin Barton in P6. Elton Wu in seventh place. Jeff Slaughter brings it home in P8 after fighting at the front for a large chunk of the night. Ward Fisher in ninth, and Herzog rounds out our top 10. From there, it's JC John Campbell down into 11th. It's the Naj Crutchley. He was confident coming into the night, brings it home in P11. Will Emmert in 13. Aston Rice ran up front most of the night and finished it out in 14th. Jason Benson in 15th. Tex Nichols, our series sponsor, P16. Michael Seymour in 17th. Mike Wida in 18th. From there, it's going to be 19th. James Dewar, Alex Goff, Bill Petroff, Matt Harmon, our race sponsor for the night. Kevin Cohen, Howie Burrows down in 24th. Tyler Royales in 25th. And Jared Jackson rounds out our 26 car field. Let's go have a word with our winner of the night. Let's find Ricky Barbary here, if we can. I don't see Ricky Barbary anywhere yet. Probably celebrating the win. So let's pull in Brad Kress here.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Brad just to see what happened to him there at the very end.
Yeah, Brad. Hello. Final lap there, going into the white flag. It seemed like you got a bit of a bump in the back. Can you confirm or deny?
Yeah, it seemed like I did. And then I was just watching the replay back and seeing how the four, because I didn't even know where he came from. And looks like they had a little bit of a run coming up on us with more cars in line. And man, they were rolling.
Yeah, it looked like you lost your momentum when you took that little shot in the back and you kind of slid up into that middle line and just took all your momentum away, it looked like.
Yeah, that could have been it. I wasn't really sure what had happened at that time because I went into the corner and I was just putting more and more wheel into it to try to get it to turn. So yeah, that could have been what caused it to run up the track because it hadn't done that the entire race until then.
Yeah, it looked like that could have been, or it could have been like a little net code bump too. But yeah, it looked like it was a off angle bump draft or something, and it just kind of sent you up a little bit, and that was all it took to get Kane and those guys in Barbary going around on the outside.
Yeah, that sounds better than I just lost my talent. So we'll go with that. What you said.
No, you had a good run. You had a good run tonight. You stayed out of trouble early. We didn't mention your name for most of the race, which is a good thing at a super speedway. And then you popped up there towards the end, and the car was in good shape, and you were right there with a chance to win the race. You had a good run.
Yeah, I got worried toward the beginning of the race. Me and the 6 car kind of got together on pit road, and I got some damage out of that. So I had to sit on pit road. And I think when I went into pit road, I was second or third maybe, and I came out like 22nd behind everyone. So I was a little nervous after that. I was just I had the car picked out in front of me, and I was wherever he was going, I was following him, and I was in no hurry to get back to the front. we still
Yeah,
had a
it was-
long race to go, so I'm just taking my time, going where I can.
Yeah, it was a nice run, and apparently you were one of the predicted winners in chat, and so that. But yeah, you popped up out of nowhere there, and we were excited to see you.
Well, I hated to let the chat down, but I gave it up my all.
Brad, good racing here today, man, at Talladega. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go celebrate that second place?
Yeah, thank you guys for putting on this show. Y'all do a hell of a job. Go back and watch them every week. And all the admins that keep this thing going every week, y'all are doing an awesome job. And that's really all I can think of, just everyone that keeps this thing going.
Awesome. And a big shout out for you to showing up to the races and keeping them stocked up with cars. Congrats on the P2, Brad, and we'll see you at the next one.
All right. Thank you, fellas.
All right, Jim, let's grab our winner here, Ricky Barbary. Ricky Barbary. I'm going to be honest, we didn't talk about you most of the race, and then you showed up at the end and you win the thing. Talk to me about your night.
Yeah, we had a pretty good strategy going in. You know, I know how these super speedways are, so for the most part, if you just stay in the back and let them all wreck in front of you and get that track position, you can come up there at the end and get it done.
So that is 100% what you did there. I want to talk to you about the final lap there. When you got near the front, you had Brad Kress, who was a predicted winner by a certain someone in YouTube chat who I won't name, but was a predicted winner there. What was your plan going around the tri-oval coming to the line? Were you worried about getting past, or do you think, was there ever a point on that final lap that you said, I've got this in the bag, I got the win?
Well, I mean, coming to the tri-oval, it's always a toss-up of who's going to go high, who's going to go low, who's going to drive through you. I pretty much knew as soon as I got in the middle of the tri-oval that Brad, he wasn't going to make a move or nothing. I pretty much knew I had it then, so crossed the line first, and that's what matters the most.
And, you know, looking at how your race went here, and obviously it sounds like you've got some big experience with super speedways. Any big tips you would give anybody going into a super speedway race that they may not think of right now?
Well, you can't win it on the first lap or the 10th lap or the 20th lap. So, you know, it's fun to go up there and race with the pack up front, but, you know, one mistake can cost you the race. So that's why I just kind of hang in the back and play it all out. And it's kind of like playing cards a little bit. You just got to know what to put down on the table and show your hand when it's time to go.
So, Ricky, this is Jim. Ricky, this is Jim Cunningham. I got a question for you. So when y'all were coming around there and Kane was in front of you with the Croc car, your face had to light up when he decided to slide up the track and go towards the middle, towards the top, and it just kind of opened up the bottom for you, and you had Brad Kress behind you. You had to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I had the momentum from Brad coming out of the floor, and I knew I was either going to go through him or under him, or I knew I had to get by him. So, but I think the way how the air works here, I was able to get the nose of my car just on his right rear enough to loosen him up, to send him up the track, and that pretty much gave me a clear track to bring it home.
Yeah, that was a great move. We were watching it, and I could tell you were going to have the momentum because Brad had kind of recovered from his little stumble there right before, and had gotten back up on your tail. And he actually gave you a shove at one point, and you wiggled a little bit, and I was nervous that he was going to wreck you, but you held it together. And then when I saw, Kane slide up the track like that, I was like, man, it just opened the door for you to come on through. And that's a great livery on that car, by the way. I love it.
Thank you.
Ricky, anyone?
So, yeah, good job. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Jim. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, the floor is yours.
Yeah, big shout out to my teammate James Deere. He didn't have a good night tonight, but he's always there to help me when I need it. Shout out Triple Bypass, everyone that runs this deal for putting on a good show. Shout out you guys for broadcasting and all that, and everyone watching, my friends, my family, and hopefully we can park it in victory lane again soon.
Awesome, and congratulations to you, Ricky, for winning this one. We'll see you on the track on the next one, okay?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Jim, I tell you what, this has been an absolute barnstorm of a run. I mean, if there was ever a race to debut on, this would probably be the one.
Yeah, man, this was it was a great race. You know, I mean, Talladega, you know, people can say what they want about the cautions and, you know, whatever, and pack racing, but man, they always seem to have great finishes, and that was another one. I mean, we literally did not know who was going to win this race halfway down, around just coming out before the trioval. We didn't know who was going to win this race, and that's fantastic racing, man. You know, it was everything Talladega is supposed to be.
That it was. And if you enjoyed this Talladega run, plenty more Triple Bypass coming out. Next Thursday, we've got Lady Knights of Solomon Race for Hurricane Recovery that Tex Nichols is going to be bringing in. So make sure you tune in here in a week for the next Triple Bypass. Is I said at the top of the broadcast, JP Broadcasting has racing every single night of the week. So if there's something you like, whether it's not this, if it's road, if it's some sort of different oval, whatever it may be, there's dirt track racing every once in a while. Be sure you like, subscribe, ring the bells, do everything you can to support what we do here. And it's absolutely free from your side. But on behalf of Jim Cunningham, my name is Bradley Dalton. We've taken you start to finish here for the Driver Appreciation 75 here at Talladega. Be sure to join us here for the next one where we'll take you start to finish yet again. Good night.